there's a lot of love.
Okay, are you ready?
I am ready.
He's running late for his job after school. Burger store, dinosaur, flipping some meat, don't make him feel cool. Herbivore, dinosaur, counting the minutes, watching the clock. Nososaur, dinosaur, nothing ever changes here in Little Rock. Can you think what it is?
Dinosaur!
Arkansas, dinosaur. Woo! Look at his mind, he's interesting. Look at his eyes, he's mysterious. Why can't you see this is not me? You have to believe I'm more than a burger store dinosaur. Can't take it anymore. Searching, yawning.
Dinosaur!
I would be playing drums now. Yeah. Or fight. His bosses mean he's always picking a fight. On the floor, dinosaur. He knows karate, but it wouldn't be right.
Now, I'm very excited to have Miriam here. She is the star of Flatiron Plaza. She has her own show where she does walking tours around. She knows the history inside out. So it's very exciting to have her on. Snuggle into the goddess Miriam. Don't be shy. Now, are you in love at the moment?
With, of course, the Flatiron District, yes.
Now, why do you love this place so much? You've written a book. You're continually taking people around tours. What's so great about it?
I think everyone should know about this fantastic place. This was the center of the city one time. This was your Times Square in the late 1800s. And you can see that this is starting to, look at the crowd. Yeah. Little, just a couple more people. But anyway, but this is where it all started.
So it was it was the top spot in town to come. And then what happened? It just sort of...
Progress. Everything started to move uptown. Yeah. And then, but look at this renaissance we have now, is that things are moving back down here.
Now, there's a very famous love story that's occurred here that's quite dark and full of murder, may I say. So can you give us that story? Can you tell the folks here that story? Because it's quite embedded with the history of this place too.
Right. Well, it's one of a couple of love triangles that were in this triangular area. But the most famous was that of involves Stanford White, Evelyn Nesbit, and Harry Thaw. And it was Stanford White, who was if nobody knows the name Stanford White, do look him, if you Google anything tonight, Google Stanford White, because I can't go into it. But he was a very talented architect, and he did many things. Actually, unfortunately, none of them stand today, except for the base of the Farragut Monument in Madison Square Park.
So at the time, he was like one of the city's top architects. Everyone knew him. He had a finger in every pie. He was building all those buildings. He was the man about town.
So in his probably late 40s or so, he had an affair with a young woman, like a 15-year-old chorus girl, and which lasted, the better part of probably 2 or 3 years or whatever. But that
he should have known better though. 15. Was that back in the olden days or something?
Anyway, so so that was, some years passed by, and the young lady was Evelyn Nesbit. And later on, maybe 5 years or so later, 6 years later, she married Harry Thaw. Harry Thaw was a very jealous gentleman, and Evelyn poured out her heart to him about the affair she had with...
So I guess she felt that she could share it with her husband now, that she was really in love, and that she just wanted to get this off her chest so that they could move forward in their relationship.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Anyway, what happened was Harry was a very, very jealous guy, and he, as he heard this story, he only had one thing in mind, and that was to put an end to Stanford White's life. And one of Stanford White's most dazzling buildings here was the second Madison Square Garden, which stood on the site of where the New York Life Insurance building is, with the gold pyramid on top. And so that
So
was
that's just across the park there.
at the north east side of the park. Okay. Anyway, that he built that. He designed it. It was his home away from home. It had a tower, and he had several, of his personal little.
He was having such a great time, that guy. He had young girls, he was building big buildings, dinners, parties.
Exactly. Anyway, so so it was his, that was, as I said, that was his second home. So one day he was having dinner at Delmonico's, which was located right here at Fifth Avenue, 26th Street. And by sheer coincidence, Harry thought and his wife, Evelyn Nesbitt, were dining on the east side of the restaurant, and good old Stanford White was dining on the west side of the restaurant.
It's just coincidence, just by chance.
Well, maybe not quite by chance, but I think that Harry thought had his feelers out, and he was anyway. But that evening, they both parties separately decided to go over to the roof garden, because there was a beautiful roof garden on Madison Square Garden. There was the tower, and then there was a lower section, and on top.
They had a dinner, popped up there for a drink.
Right, and so of course Stanford White did this on a daily basis almost, because this was, as I said, his home away from home, and he would just go there and shoot the breeze with the help and the waiters and the actors and all of that. So that was his thing. Harry and Evelyn, that was not really their pattern, but that evening it was. Anyway, they all find themselves on the roof of Madison Square Garden, and sitting a couple tables away from each other, and suddenly Harry gets up, excuses himself from Evelyn, and walks over to Stanford White, pulls out a pistol, and shoots him at point-blank range.
Oh my God, just then and there, he had a gun on him, ready to go.
Ready to go. Anyway, and it's, the loss of...
Obviously that was he killed him.
Yeah,
In his favourite place on earth that he built.
exactly.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah, so I think that was all calculated and figured out on the part of Harry Thaw. Anyway, so what happened was, he was found insane, so he never served any real time for it. And we lost a very talented,
That must have been so shocking for everyone.
crime of the century, it was called.
Searching, yearning, he lies down on his bed and counts his coins again. What did you just play the wrong note? No, but you did. That was awful.
It's not my guitar, it's different.
Yeah, well, you have to apologize to New York.